Good evening. My name is Amy Jamison, and this is a review of my action research plan. My action research plan was on solving word problems and why do students have an aversion to them. Being a high school math teacher and noticing that students have an aversion to word problems, they don't like to solve them. They just will avoid them at all cost. So the proposal for my plan is why? Why do they have such an aversion? Is it because they can't read them? Is it because the vocabulary in them is too much? Is it too new? Is it because their reading level isn't up to par? Do students not like them because they have too much information in them? Just several things. Solving more problems is hard. It's hard. They have to be able to read them and pull out the information that they need to solve them, and then do the math that goes on top of that. So my research questions were, what is the relationship between the student's reading level and their ability to solve the word problems? Do students not understand all the words that they're in the word problem because they do not have the vocabulary? And do students have the skills to pull out the information needed to solve the word problems and leave the other information alone? So, some of the data in this. So the data that I would be collecting is from whether it be their assessments, their surveys, homework, classwork, whatever it be, just the overview, the data is. And the data that I used to create this plan is by teaching these math subjects, I noticed that the kids did not like to do the word problems. We would have to avoid the word problems because they just did not have the vocabulary and they did not know how to solve them. So the role of the stakeholders in this and the timetable. So I would do this over maybe a whole entire semester, this action plan, because you can't just teach vocabulary in a week and expect students to understand it. So the first thing that I would do is within the first week of school beginning is give them a pre-assessment. The students would take the pre-assessment. The teacher would grade the pre-assessment. Meet them on their level. Start where they're at and then go from there. I would also give them surveys along the way and say, okay, so what are the vocabulary words that you think you know and why do you dislike a word problem? And see maybe if, the pre-assessment and the surveys go along with each other. Then you would do their direct instruction. So you would teach them, the teacher would teach them what they need to know and give them examples to go by when they're, not with you and you can't, physically tell them what to do. Then give them classwork and homework so that you can go with it, that goes along with your direct instruction. That's for the students to do. And then you to grade and see, okay, where did you go wrong? Where can you where can you fix it? And are they picking it up on it? I would also have them create a vocabulary book that would go along with the new words that they're learning, keep it in a journal type thing so that the students have easy access to these words and can easily, put their hands on it and review the words and give them a vocabulary assessments to make sure that those words are sticking in. Not only just have them write them, but use them in the context they're meant to be used in the math class. If it's congruent, make sure you're using congruent instead of equal, things like that. I would also journal every day after class, have the teacher I would sit down and journal, okay, this went good, this went bad, where the things are that you can make better, direct instruction better. Give them a middle assessment, like sometime in the middle of the semester. See how they're coming along with their, solving of the word problems. Are they making progress? Are they not making progress? Where can you go back and meet them at their needs? And then continue with the direct instruction, homework, and classwork. And then at the end of the semester, give them a post-assessment and see if they have made any progress and have increased their ability to solve word problems and ability to read and comprehend and the vocabulary. Have they made improvements in their vocabulary from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester? Some of the expected outcomes and benefits to the organization and the stakeholders are if a student can solve a word problem in a math class, I'm sure standardized testing, their scores will go up. Most high school students have to take the SAT or the ACT to go on to college. They have to take a WIN or work keys to get a job in a factory. And they're going to see word problems on all of those standardized tests, so this will help them increase their scores there. Some expected outcomes is for students to have a better knowledge, a better understanding of vocabulary, better reading level, better capabilities of pulling out the information that they need and leaving the information they don't need alone. The benefits to the organizations is to help all teachers, if math teachers, if just a little bit of this action plan helps in one aspect, maybe the vocabulary aspect, maybe the reading aspect, maybe pulling out and leaving alone what they don't, there's a lot of mumbo jumbo in some of these word problems, and maybe they just need to know, okay, I need this, but I don't need that. So those are just some things that, the outcomes to increase their scores on, just not just in math class, but on standardized tests and other activities that they may have outside of the classroom. Thank you for watching this video.